There's a Reddit thread I keep coming back to. A shopkeeper asking the question that, if we're honest, most of us have asked ourselves at some point. Why would anyone leave their sofa to visit my shop when they can scroll on their phone and buy online? It's a fair question, and buried in the replies was this answer: because I can't photograph my sofa shopping experience and send it to my sister. Now, on the face of it, that sounds flippant, but let's just sit with it for a moment. What that person was really saying is this: a shop needs to create moments worth experiencing in person, worth remembering, worth sharing, worth coming back for. And that's the truth, isn't it? You're not just competing with a shop down the road anymore. You're competing with Amazon, with Netflix, with social media, with the pure convenience of doing nothing at all. Shops need to earn someone's time. And the way stock is displayed doesn't always earn that time. It just sits there, waiting. So in this video, let's look at how to transform your shop from a place that sells things into a place that creates experiences. And I want to show you that that doesn't require a theme park budget. It doesn't require Instagram influencers. It requires different thinking. That's it. Big retail thinking, small shop reality. I'm Keith Hawkwood. I help independent retailers thrive with less noise and more clarity. Let me take you back to the 1990s. I was working in Oxford and we were doing a project for a major supermarket looking at what the industry charmingly calls yellow fats. That's butter, margarine, spreads, everything in the fridge that's yellow and goes on toast. The layout was perfectly logical, organised by type and brand. Butter here, margarine there, olive-based spreads over there. Nothing wrong with it. Functional, easy to navigate, and completely forgettable. A bit like walking past the same window display you've seen 100 times. Your eyes just slide right over it. So we started interviewing shoppers, not about what they bought, but why. What were they making? What occasions were they shopping for? What were they trying to achieve in their kitchens? Then, from that information, we relayed out the same fridges with the same products, but we signed them differently. Instead of butter and margarine, we used language like healthy everyday spreads, rich butter for entertaining, light options for cooking, indulgent butter for special baking. Same products, same prices, same supermarket. Sales more than doubled. Possibly even greater. It's been 30 years and memory plays tricks, but the uplift was dramatic. Now, why did that work? It worked because we stopped selling yellow fats and started helping people imagine what they could create. We shifted the conversation from functional to aspirational. And here's the thing I want you to take from that. This shift is available to everyone. It doesn't cost a penny. It's just a different way of thinking about what's already on the shelves. Here's something to try. Walk onto your shop floor this week and look at the layout with fresh eyes. I guess it's organised logically, by type, by brand, by price point. That makes sense. It's tidy. Then ask a question. What stories could I tell instead? If you run a bookshop, instead of just fiction and non-fiction, what about a display of books for long winter evenings? If you're running a gift shop, instead of cards on one wall and candles on another, what about a thinking of you display that groups them together into a story about sending care to someone you love? Same products, different thinking. We're helping our customers imagine how these things fit into their actual lives. And that imagination is what gets people to stop, pick something up, and to take it to the till. Now, here's the bit that cost us absolutely nothing, but might be the most powerful change we make this month. It's the language. Have a look at the signage in your shop next time you're on the floor. The shelf labels, The product descriptions. Are they functional or are they aspirational? There's a world of difference between scented candle and create your sanctuary. One tells someone what the product is. The other tells them what the product could do for them. One is a label on a shelf. The other is an invitation to a moment. And this really is the heart of what is meant by experiential retail. It's not about creating theme parks or photo walls. It's about shifting language from describing products to describing possibilities. You're not selling a candle. You're selling a quiet evening. You're not selling a mixing bowl. You're selling the pride of a homemade birthday cake. Think about the shops you remember, the ones that stick with you. I'll bet good money it wasn't because they had a neon sign saying, "Take photos here." It was because something made you stop and think. Think, "Oh, that's lovely," or "I hadn't thought of putting those things together," or "That's exactly what I need." That's what you're aiming for, small sparks of possibility. And the language on your signs is often where that spark begins. A customer might walk past a shelf of candles without a second glance. But a sign that says, "Create your sanctuary," that makes them pause. That changes the whole interaction. That's the difference between footfall and actual engagement and increased sales. I have a friend who runs a shop in Devon. I think I've mentioned her before. She went from complete stranger in the community to a proper anchor of the high street in less than a year. One of her core approaches is what she calls Meet the Maker events. She invites the craftspeople whose work she stocks to come in and run demonstrations. Now, she could just put their products on shelves. That would be perfectly fine. But here's what happens at these events. For instance, a potter comes in. They set everything up and demonstrate throwing a bowl. Maybe half a dozen people gather around to watch. They see the skill involved. They hear the story, where the clay comes from, why this particular glaze creates that colour, how each piece is unique. Then afterwards, someone picks up a finished bowl from the shelf. The same bowl they may have walked past just half an hour earlier. And suddenly it's not just a bowl for £24. It's the bowl that Tom made using clay from Devon, and I watched him create one just like it. That's the principle at work. The experience changed the meaning of the product, not because there was a workshop, but because the story gave the object weight, connection, significance. People buy from people. And when we can make that human connection visible, it changes everything. Now, you may not run workshops or be interested in doing so, and that's fine. But every product on your shelf has a story hiding inside it. Where it came from, how it's made, why you chose to stock it, what problem it solves, what moment it's perfect for. That story is already there. You just need to let it out. So here's something small to try. Pick 5 products this week, just 5, and write a little card for each one. Not a price tag, but a story tag. 2 or 3 sentences about why this product matters, where it came from, what makes it special, prominently next to the product and see what happens. In my experience, people pick up products with stories. They just do. If you're not sure where to start, ask yourself, why did I choose to stock this product? The answer to that question is usually the story your customer needs to hear. Now, before you move further and redesign all of your displays, it helps to know which products are actually worth the effort of doing that storytelling. There's no point creating a beautiful aspirational display around a product that barely contributes to the bottom line, is there? So I've put together a one-page audit sheet called the Experiential Retail Display Audit. Not a great name, sorry about that, but it's a useful tool. Simple, practical, no fluff. Here's how it works. Print it out and take it onto the shop floor. For each of your key display areas, walk through a set of questions. Is this display already telling a story, or am I just sorting stock? What's the language saying? Is it functional or aspirational? Could a customer imagine themselves using this product from how it's presented? Would someone actually pause here? It takes about 15 minutes, and by the end, you'll have a clear picture of where your biggest opportunities are hiding. The link's in the description below. When you're ready, it's there. And if you want to go a step further, if you want to understand which products are actually driving your profit before investing time redesigning displays, the Retail Profit Finder is a good place to start. It shows you in about 10 minutes where your real margin sits. That's in the description. Online shopping is transactional. Click, buy, receive. No moment of discovery, no spark of inspiration, no story. Your advantage as physical shop owners is that you can create those moments. Not with huge budgets, just with different thinking. Products arranged with imagination, signed with aspiration, creating moments that help people see possibilities. Independent retail matters more than it ever has done. And the shops that will thrive are the ones that remember they're not just selling things. They're creating experiences worth leaving the sofa for. Next week, we're talking about something that might seem old-fashioned, but is actually your secret weapon. The personal touch. Why people still visit shops that actually remember them. If you found this useful, do subscribe. And if you try any of this in your shop, rewriting a sign, grouping products differently, adding a story tag, I'd love to hear how it goes. Drop me a comment below or contact me on retailoutcome.co.uk. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.